official. But until then, let's break up into our respective precinct-based groups and just talk about like what went well, what could have gone differently, and then what was surprising or like unexpected.
It's usually an idea that people get really quickly, even if they haven't heard of rent control. They don't like the idea that their landlord can raise the rent to whatever he wants at any time, and drive them out of their home. That's something that people really feel strongly about. And a lot of people that I talked to had heard of rent control, but didn't know that it was illegal in the state of Illinois. They had never heard that we had a ban on rent control and did not like that at all. They thought that was wrong.
So there are some community organizations who have known about this for years and have been fighting against it, but it's just, I think now, coming to popular consciousness for a lot of people. A lot of people don't know that it's illegal in Illinois and in a lot of other states, because that was kind of the point. I don't know if anybody's giving you the spiel yet, but there was a conservative think tank in the 90s that was largely funded by the Koch brothers, and it got passed pretty easily in a lot of states because it wasn't an issue. So they basically just got it in while nobody was looking, and now it's actually affecting people.
Part of it for me is that it really seems to be kind of an assault on democracy. This is something that communities should be allowed to decide that they can do. The way that it was passed and kind of snuck through isn't right. This is something that communities should be able to have in their toolbox, and making sure that they're not doing it is just basically using the power of the state government to try and prop up the profits of developers in a lot of these places, and to foreclose a process that should be allowed to go, to continue. The power that landlords have over renters partially comes from just the things that we've allowed to be considered private property. There's nothing that's necessary in the universe that says that somebody gets to own land. They didn't make that land. Maybe they built the building, but these are limits. There are limits on what people should be able to do and control about other people's lives in the name of private property. And there are just some rights, some resources that we need to hold as human rights, and housing is definitely one of them. No matter what a developer wants to make money on, people deserve to be able to live in homes, live in communities, and to consider that a human right.
Getting this on the referendum getting this as a referendum on the ballot, it's not a non-binding referendum. So a lot of it is just still raising consciousness about it and talking to people about it. And because a lot of people, I think, are looking around right now and noticing the same things. They see people's rents rising and people getting evicted, and all these mixed-use developments come in and kind of take over areas that they've lived in their entire lives. While this is an electoral effort, a lot of it is just letting people know what's going on, and I think we're actually pretty effective at getting that done. Yeah.
It's really, really easy to be like, I think capitalism is bad, and we should do something that isn't capitalism. But it's harder than to find gradual steps to that, and particularly there are some issues that we have really ingrained because of the way that we run society that are just not areas that can be politics. There are things that aren't political questions. They're just, this guy owns this building, he can do what he wants to do with it, and you have to get out if he decides that that's what you want to do. And that getting people in, admittedly, like an initial step to start thinking that they have a say, that they have a voice, and they get a vote on what their rent should be, that they can get involved in that process, that it's not just something that people with money get to decide for them. That's important. That's something that people, that builds what I think as democratic socialists we want people to think about, that the economy is not just these impersonal natural forces where the market is doing something rational, that it's a political process that they can be involved in, and if they don't want this to be how the economy is organized, they can get involved and change it.